Hey, let me play the devil's advocate here.
Please.
I want to be that teenager at the moment. Just the viewers know that I'm not, this is not about me. I just want to talk like the way the students and the young people talk to me in their 20s or before that above. So if I said to you, Sheikh, you know, I've been looking at this stuff for a very long time. I've never chatted a girl. I've never gone with another person. Even we all know that even now women are starting to get this behavioral addiction too.
Not starting. They've been into the same life.
They've been into the same life as
but
well.
the percentage is different.
Okay.
So we talk about 65%, 70% men are more likely to be on these images,
okay,
as opposed to maybe 25 to 30%.
Okay, Sheikh. So what happens if a person does not fall into zina, adultery, doesn't talk to the opposite gender in a haram way? What are the consequences of that? I mean, I call it an insidious pathway. Okay. Insidious meaning slowly, gradually becoming something bad, and then what are the consequences? Tell us.
The consequence, one of them, yeah. So these people, I assume that they're gonna get married later in the future, inshallah, right? So there is something now in neuroscience know about it called porn-induced erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Porn-induced erectile dysfunction. You have already grown up conditioning your brain that sexual pleasure is attainable only through screens, pixels, and imagery of that nature, and of course self-pleasuring always associated with the actions, right? So when you condition your brain to attain that pleasure through these channels, when you get the real life partner later on, when you get married, your body, your physical body will not react to sexual stimulus. And you will have the halal, you will have your wife, but you won't be able to function sexually. In so many young men, this has been a common. Go and find Reboot Nation, you know, one of the websites that are available to help people.
Reboot, is that the website called?
Yeah,
Reboot?
It's by non-Muslim, but they actually develop a whole forum within their platform for Muslims. Yes.
Just for Muslims?
It's belonged to a friend of mine from America named Gabe Deem. He started this because he himself was also suffering from this same issue, porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Go and find it. Millions of people are discussing the same problem. As young as 18, 24, 25, they're discussing the problem of inability of having sexual intimacy with their partners, but when they are on porn, they are okay to function. They're fine with it. Why? Because the brain has been conditioned. And that leads to what, Sheikhna? Frustration between the partners, because the wife also have needs, right? And that leads to what? Domestic violence. And that leads to what? Divorce. 56% of divorce cases happened in the United States alone. We're talking about just the United States. 56% of divorce cases because one or both partners were addicted to this behavior. So what else? What other consequences people? You know, I asked this in one of my workshops. Would you rather, may Allah protect us and safeguard everyone, inshallah, but would you rather be diagnosed with cancer or diagnosed with porn-induced erectile dysfunction? And believe me...
You did this survey?
Yes, believe me, the majority say, I'd rather have cancer than being embarrassed in front of my wife.
And you know what, that also, to back you up, because we're both involved in counseling and relationship counseling, and we found that this is the last topic that they will talk about, even what we call, as we call it, the elephant in the room. They both want to talk about it, but they're too ashamed. And it's normally the underlying factor, or at least some statistics I read were about 60% of the reasons. But that's why I think, again, it's so important to address it. Subhanallah.
You know, Sheikhna, before you move to the next question, we mentioned about the sisters who maybe are affected by the same addiction. There is also, as we talked about the PIED, the porn-induced erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
Women also suffer from similar disease called anorgasmia, the inability of reaching that pleasurable moment with her husband after marriage.
Also as a result
of the so it's similar, but you know, it's like no climax whatsoever during marital, intimacy as a result of the brain conditioning due to these imagery. So you see, so the damage is will not just affect the individual now. It's not affecting you as a person now. It's affecting also your partner. It's affecting your family, your children. Many people, I get children as as you know, they will come at the age of 30, for example. They say, when we were young, we saw our parents doing this, we became addicted like them, and today they are living a lifetime of addiction to these imagery because they have seen their parents doing the same thing. So we cannot really lie to ourselves anymore. We have to just be vulnerable, honest, and let's find a solution instead of just burying our heads in the sand, pretending that our community is angelic.